Good.
I'm not sure why
It's got equal conditions, yeah?
Oh, I haven't. Let's go and have a look in the actual game to see if he's
the
done
main
that
thing.
correctly. I was about to say I was just looking. I was just going from what Natty said in his chat. I'm now going to go and have a look on GT7.
Is this going to work or not? Come on,
Uploads
lads.
picture in picture. I'll put
Yes.
you picture in picture while I do it.
Right, just need to wait for Matty to put his up and we're good to go. Hello everyone. We're just chatting to ourselves and sorting things out.
As per.
As
It's
per.
a Sunday night. Yep. Every Sunday night possible. Oh,
Right, let's have another look at this guy. We have a bit of a laggy driver. That's really bad. Right, okay, I'm going to...
Might have to ask Aero if they've got someone else to go. Real question. The real thing is, he wasn't this laggy when he was with the X in that eval race a few weeks back. Huh? Oh no, that's a different guy entirely. I'm losing my. I'm losing the plot. Right back to IG. I should. Why is Vidal doing? Where is it? That's. Am I going insane?
Right, I've asked the question.
There it is. Room details, room info, 48, preset, equal conditions on. Yeah, it looked like it got it spot on.
Good.
Fair play. Also, the share screen's not stuttering when I have it in picture in picture, so I don't really know why that's happening.
Is this the new commentator? No, it's me and Pyro, Ryan.
I was about to say, it's definitely not a new commentator.
Natty is in Lobby B. He's just going to set up his stream now, I think. So yeah, he's pretty good. I'm quite impressed with some of the comments he sent us.
But yeah, he I've been parts of leagues with Natty doing commentary before. He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
So we've got, let's just do a quick recap of who we've got in this lobby for everyone who's joining while we're waiting for Natty to put up his, so that I can put out the little announcement that we always do. So we've got ERA, who are our championship leaders in this lobby for qualifying. Last week they were in Lobby B as a new team, but I think we'll be seeing them in Lobby A from now on. We've got Evo, again, who finished P2, did get pole position last week, and joining him this week is Mike, who I think is in the GR Supra. Yep, it is. And we also have Harlock in the Porsche, but we'll have to wait and see what happens in the race. It looks like he is going to be starting at least, so we'll have to keep an eye on his lag, and hopefully we avoid a repeat of last week. Arex, P4 in the championship so far. Javi will be looking for a better round in his Ferrari around here. Should be a lot stronger, currently 4/10 off of Aura's fastest time for FGR. We've also got Keplero struggling through the tunnel there in his Lambo. Again, he failed to qualify for Lobby A last week, expecting a Lobby A qualifying performance for him. And Alessandro making his first appearance for Arex in the Nissan GTR. Last season he was with Falcon. Speaking of Falcon, we have Arlab Dino, we have GT Ahmed, and we have Harlex back again for his second appearance. So these guys are P2 in the standings, 1 point I think ahead of FGR, who currently have the fastest driver on the track, Aura, with Milius and Ruppy racing once again for them. And then the final team in Lobby A is actually Pegasus, who finished 1st, 3rd and 5th in Lobby B last week, to squeak into P5 at the moment. They've got Autonomous, they've got Ryan making his debut, a Tier 1 driver, and they've got Los Blancos, another Tier 1 driver. So 3 pretty strong drivers to start with, maybe aiming to get 1 or 2 into Lobby A today for the first time this season.
Yeah, they definitely have to do better than they did last week, even though they are currently 5th, because it's not sustainable in the way that they're currently doing it. But it's an opportunity, isn't it, at the end of the day, that you get to drive with these faster drivers, because I'll gain some more speed out of Pegasus drivers as well. It's just naturally how it works. Iron sharpens iron, things like that. But yeah, it's early in the season, and we don't really know a lot because everyone had a lot of practice at Daytona, and then we come to Deep Forest, the track that isn't usually driven on anywhere near as much. So they've got to readjust for this week.
And yeah, just a shout out to who's in Lobby B this week. We've got Project Platypus in Lobby B, our defending champions having a bit of a nightmare last week, especially with Zico disconnecting. We've got Spider, who were in the top 5, but got some post-race penalties applied. So they are in 7th at the moment. We've got Aero GT, who have Iggy making his appearance for them, so expecting him to be in Lobby A for the race, but he's going to be in Lobby B for qualifying with Aero GT, his first race for them. And then we've got Project Racing United, and we've got Apex Racing as usual as well.
Yeah, first ever time Project Platypus being in Lobby B for a qualifying session in one of these that isn't like
yeah,
that was at the very first
big moment
of the I think it might have been the very first one of the very first season, but I don't really count or the second season, sorry. But yeah, it's a massive moment in terms of pace that they're in outside the top 5 after week 1 is not what we saw coming.
Yeah. Right, okay, I think it's time to get everything started. No messing about today, hopefully.
Yeah, let's get everything going on time and hopefully rolling pretty well here in qualifying. I love how I'm still moving my remote as if I have any control over this whatsoever. Not part of the lobby, watching over share screen.
So, who is the first one out on track? Looks like it's Mike.
It is Mike. You are right. It's going to be our ERA, the first one's out. Javi after that. Rupee, the third driver out there as they come up the hill through turn 2. So we'll see what the tactics are, whether people are going to try slipstream in, because there are a couple of... Oh, Mike having a bit of a mare through the tunnel there.
Absolutely racing through the opening. Javi keeping him honest as well. I think Javi might be wanting to take advantage of some slipstream here.
Yeah, there's a couple of very long... I was about to say, there's a couple of very, very long straights around Deep Forest. Especially its back straight, and then you come down the bottom of the hill after the hairpin, and then you'll load on the run down toward turn 1, like the major overtaking zones on this track. So you've kind of got to keep relatively close to somebody just so you can keep gaining the advantage you get from the slipstream. I'm not entirely sure you want to be that close, however.
Yeah.
Which is what Javi's currently doing. We'll see whether or not this is going to backfire, being that close to the car ahead.
He's still got about a second that he can gain, though, which is probably the ideal distance, as long as you trust the car in front to be able to catch them towards the end of the lap. So we'll see how that goes. What we're looking for here, we're expecting pole position to be in the 24s, high 24s. The gap between first place in Lobby A and pole position in Lobby B, that's 16th quickest driver, last week was less than 0.8 of a second. I'm expecting it to be even smaller this week, to be honest, because it's a shorter track, and it's quite... I think this is one of the easier tracks on GT to master, so everyone should be at a fairly similar level, I reckon.
Yeah, and it's all about how much aero tuning is going to play a part in this. So we're used to maybe like high 25s, but without all the Aero tuning when we come here on a Monday.
Yeah.
So it's a case of how much can you get out of tuning, how much will the card let you get. So we're looking possibly maybe high 24s potentially here for pole.
Yeah. 24.9 was set in practice, and it does look like Javi's gained a bit of time on Mike on this lap. Just looking at the gaps between the two of them. So I'm putting my hat on Javi. Oh, never mind. He's just gone wide in the head. He's not going to be quicker than Mike. But that was a really solid lap from Javi. He's definitely got it in him, and he could go again on the next lap.
Commentators curse, and we're only on lap 1 of qualifying.
I know, right?
It's going to be a long night.
I need to start saying some wild things just so that they start happening. So a 25.2 is a really solid opening for Mike. Javi, just despite that mistake in the last hairpin, not even half a tenth back. Aura is our P1 at the moment. Really solid time there. A 25 flat. I'm expecting that to come down again. His teammate Milius in at P4 with a 25.5.
Yep, Ahmed also doing a 25.5. I think Halix did a 25.6 in there as well. That's DRA Evo, who came second in the last race after getting a penalty in the bus stop chicane at Daytona and botched it badly. Lost out to Nick in the end. I know those have a little team rivalry going already. He did a 25.5, so he's just trying to set himself up for a Lobby A berth and do his job in the race like he did last week.
Yeah. Pegasus having a bit of a mare on those opening laps, both of their drivers getting half-second penalties on the first lap, which is pretty brutal, to be honest. Aura almost equal. He could slightly improve here if he nails this hairpin.
All I know is that I think one of the ERA boys just let Javi through in the foreground, of all the drivers here. And coming down toward the line, I think that might mean that
Mike's in the pits.
Mike is in the pits. So he let Javi go. We'll see if there's an improvement for Javi then. To come to the line, didn't look like it.
Didn't look like Javi improved. Ruppy up into the 26 flats. Aura doesn't improve on his. Dino in P2, by the way. We haven't spoke about him at all, or Falcon much.
Miller's 25.3. Kepler 25.4, and Halix jumps into the 25.5. Yeah. So improvements coming in left, right, and centre right now. And we haven't talked a lot about Dino. Obviously, some of us will have known that he drove yesterday 12 hours of Bathurst. Did pretty well on his team in his stint, and then that fell apart very quickly in the next one. But he's got a good lap in him when he wants to.
Halex's teammate down in 10th, only half a second separating the top 10. So like I was saying, it's that close. And then you've got all the drivers in Lobby B to take into account. Yes, Ryan, the top 15 in both lobbies will be racing in Lobby A. The bottom 15 will be racing in Lobby B for less points. Equal conditions mode and all that good stuff is what's in play here. So the lobby conditions are exactly the same for all 30 drivers. Harlex is up slightly. He potentially could get within 0.3 of Aura's time if he nails the hairpin.
Yeah, there's a big part of the track here, this final sector, but if he can get it right into the top 7 potentially, good enough here. Javi 25.295. It's still not a good enough time for the top 3. 26 flat pretty much for Rupee as Aura goes over and is the first one into the 24s. 24.949. Alex over the line.
Up into
only good enough for 6th.
So we have FGR, Falcon, ERA, Arix, 4 different teams in the top 4. Then FGR, Falcon, ERA, Arix in the exact same order. That is mental.
That's not something you see very often, but I think that also might be slightly indicative of what we're about to see. Here comes Dino over the line, not an improvement. Autonomous to the line to the 25.8, so a little bit of an improvement there for Pegasus. It didn't look like one of the big guys at the back there, back of those 3 improved either. Someone is coming to the line right now. I'm not entirely sure if they're on a flying lap. We're about to find out.
They did not improve, whoever it was. Just looking quickly at the back. So we've got Los Blancos really cut off at the back, 1.8 seconds off of everyone else. Then the entire top 14 separated by slightly over a second. Ruppy is at the back of this. He failed to get into Lobby A in round 1. He needs to find a big chunk on this final lap if he is going to be troubling Lobby A with some of the pace that we've already seen. 25.1 set by Lugi for Spider GT is currently the top time in Lobby B. So that put him pretty high up here as well.
I was about to say that's a bounce back qualifying lap there from Lugi. That's a certain Rupee 25.7, Aura 24.7.
Beaten by Aura, who had a lovely slipstream from his teammate. That was timed absolutely to perfection. These two probably aren't going to improve on this lap, getting in each other's way a little bit, but that might be enough for Aura.
Also improvements for Millis, who jumps himself up in a second, and for Harlex into fourth.
It's an FGR 1-2.
It's Evo just got himself up into fourth there. 25.173. So the top five separated by a few tenths of a second, obviously. 25.0 there for Dino, puts himself back in the second, and that's what we were talking about there. He's got a good time.
Very quickly. Let me just cycle through, try and find who's coming up to the finish line. It's Ahmed, only in P10, 8 tenths down at the moment. Very, very small improvement. Stays P10.
Yeah, still P10 for Ahmed there, and I don't really see a lot of places he can improve in terms of the leaderboard, because everyone else is also just charging in their times right now. Aura and Rupee, they've switched positions on track.
Yeah, there we go. Milius is looking for an improvement again. He's just slightly behind his FGR teammates right now. We have time for maybe 2 more laps if these guys are quick. This might start to be the final lap, I think, for Milius, though.
Yeah, I think this might be the start, the final lap, full stop. I think Aura might just be the only one that gets over, potentially one more if he can flatline this entire lap, entire lobby if he gets a good enough time to do an extra lap. But yeah, everyone now onto their final laps. So we'll see who's got the bottle here on the final run around.
No one's improving at the moment.
Evo. There's an improvement there for Alessandro.
Got Harlock coming down now in P8. I think he's 3rd of the ERA boys at the moment. So still a pretty decent qualifying, but if you're in P8, you may be towards the back of Lobby 1, maybe top of Lobby A. Right, 4 seconds down, not an improvement. Kepler has been shuffled back to 9th as well.
I've expected a lot more from Kepler this season, if I'm completely honest with you.
Well, there's only been 1 race. He's in P9.
It's still potentially not good enough for a run at the next lobby. For Lobby A auto, by the way, Dino, the second person to break that 24 barrier. 24.9, I think that was.
No one in the 24s in the other lobby, by the way, so that would be provisional front row, Aura and Dino.
Yeah,
this must be Dino's best qualifying that we've seen. We're on the final lap now. We've got Ruppy just behind Aura. So can Aura improve? He's only got a 10th and a half.
It's going to be interesting to see if he can. Nope, nothing for Rupee. Actually, Rupee does a 25.6. Miller's to the line. Doesn't improve. Here comes Harlex afterwards. Again, not an improvement here. As we come toward the line with Javi. Mike's got a penalty. Javi to the line. 25.2. There's a substantial lack of improvements around the grid right now. Javi, the only one at the top that's even improved. Here comes Kepler to the line. He needs to get better than Knife, because right now he's in a bit of trouble. He's got Dino with a little bit of help there, and I think that might be an interesting conversation at the end of this.
Is for sure the word. And we've got Los Blancos down in 13th at the moment, the last person. So Harlock does improve. He sets a low 25.3. Now, Ahmed improves to a 25.3 as well. That is actually quicker than what Harlock did. And we'll just stick with Los Blancos here and see where he shuffles out in the end. Is it going to be an improvement? It is up. It's P11. 8 tenths down on Aura.
Did out-qualify Rupee though.
Yeah, there is some really tight times here. So do you want to talk through them? I'm going to start doing my calculations.
Yeah, and you see that 1-3 for FGR. And last week they may have been a little bit unfortunate in some of their places, especially when it came to Avga Bardi and everything else that happened last week at Daytona. But they've responded very well. Aura, who was convinced he could have won last week, has put on a clinic to start here. So he's done a 24.7. He's 1.5 tenths clear of Dino. And Dino carrying on his good fortunes from Bathurst yesterday. So he's getting a little bit of a run going. He'll take second. Millis 25-1. Again, about 3 tenths short of Aura, but I don't think Millis would be complaining with that at all. It seems to be solid times for him through the first 2 weeks of the season. It's just looking like FGR is starting to respond just that little bit to ERA's flat-out dominance last week when they had the first couple of runs at Daytona. They had everything going to the line. Aura pipped. Dyno after Dyno ran out of fuel. It's going to be very interesting to see how Lobby B factors into this, to be completely honest with you, because we obviously know Lugia had a 25-1. He'll probably be factored in here somewhere in around the top 8.
Yeah. So I can tell you just quickly, Lobby B, because I've got it open here. Lugi on pole for Lobby B, 25-1. Then it's Iggy, Matty, Zico, A-Tim Gren, Fluffy Butt, Skyline, and Anonyma for Aero GT in the top 8. So I'm just going to add them in.
Yeah, 25-8 is usually around about the time we see when it comes to not tuning in terms of pole towards the top of toward the top end on a Monday. So everyone being inside of that 26 mark is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
everyone just outside of a second in this lobby.
I think
measure.
The top 10 in this lobby are staying in Lobby A, and everyone else is going to be in Lobby B by the looks of it.
And Kepler 25-4 being the cutoff in this lobby in particular, anyway. That's not a big gap between Kepler and Los Blancos. That 25-4 to that 25-6, just over 2 tenths of a second. So if that's the cutoff, I think Los Blancos might be a little bit upset with himself that he can find an extra tenth maybe to get himself onto the back of Lobby A. But it would give him a very good chance at the top of Lobby B. Rupee also in there as well. So it's not going to be a bad race in Lobby B by any means. All 3 Pegasus guys will be jumping back into there again. So they're going to continue to try and turn a Lobby B into a sustainable way of ending in a top 5. Which I don't know how sustainable that's ever going to be. We will wait and see on that one.
Almost
Alessandro as well, by the way. Eric's driver in Lobby B.
Yes, for sure.
Not a good debut at Eric's for him.
I don't think he was ever in Lobby B last season as well, so that is a interesting one. So I could tell you what every single week. So the cutoff, Keplero in P15. So that's P10 here. He is in the cutoff, and he is 15th. Aura pole, Dino second, Milius third, Lugi 4th, Evo 5th, Javi 6th. Pole position for Lobby B is Fluffy Butt, ahead of Skyline for Project Platypus not getting into Lobby A. Anonyma 3rd, Los Blancos in 4th place. So let me just post all this into the chat so everyone could do musical chairs.
On that note, you might want to end up closing out the qualifying session as part of this lobby anyway.
Yes, we can do that now.
No, actually back out the entire thing. We've done that before.
Nearly. Almost. So we do have 2 Project Platypus drivers joining us. We've got 2 Spider drivers joining us. And that might be it.
It's very interesting.
Oh no, hold on. I think I got
Aero GT Iggy as well, I think.
8. Hold on. I just made a mistake. Yeah, Iggy's on his way over. I made a mistake with Auto's time. I've put him last when he's not.
So you've got all 3 of our Love Falcon in here. You've got all 3 of VRA in here. 2 FGRs, but they're 1 and 3. So the interesting scenario now is between Project Platypus and Arix in particular. Again, Arix have lost a driver to Lobby B. Project Platypus has lost a driver to Lobby B. And neither of them are particularly substantially high up in Lobby A either, to start with. So I am just very intrigued as to how our championship fight from last season is devolving in front of our eyes here to potentially a fight for P5 at
It
this
could
rate.
be. It could be. Iggy, by the way, in P9, Matty in P10. The highest Project Platypus driver is starting in 10th. The highest Arix driver starting in 6th. And
That's a
only
rare
one other
occurrence.
driver for both of them, down to 12th for Zico, and 15th for Kep. So at least they're in Lobby A. They've already improved on last week.
Yeah.
Now let me
Iggy getting back into Lobby A as well. It's a nice thing to see.
on his return after not being here for quite a while in eSports or in GT. He's been running our WRC league.
We've only seen him realistically any time recently in the charity race that we did just shy of a month ago now.
Yeah.
It is nice to see him come back and see what he's got left in the tank here.
You don't lose it. You don't lose. And also, bear in mind, he's in the Ford GT, which is not a good car around here. P9 in the Ford GT. Take a couple of tenths off that, I reckon, and he'd be in the top 3.
Yeah, you might be right. It was once upon a time a decent car around here, in terms of the Fords anyway. But yeah, we'll see what he's got. We'll see what he's got in the tank against what is absolutely considered a higher level of competition, and it can't be anything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a very much higher than what Iggy saw last time, I think.
So just waiting for some of these guys. Okay, everyone's in. Let me just.
I would be intrigued. Intrigued to see what Artingren can do this time if his internet doesn't DC him violently from the race again. That was extremely violent last week. Definitely had me questioning whether or not it would actually me or not. With the amount of people all over the place. But yeah.
Quite a wide array of nationalities we've got in esports, haven't we? Loads of Norwegians have joined Falcon. German, Austrian, Finnish.
All the Norwegians.
There we go. Okay, I can set the grid now. Aura in P1, Dino. Milius, another really strong qualifying for Milius.
Yeah, Milius seems to be what Dino was last season. And I don't mean that in any harsh way whatsoever, obviously. It's coming from what Dino did last season. Dino was there to pick off people who made mistakes. He would qualify toward the front, and then he would pick off the guys that made mistakes. Dino might have taken a step forward this season, to be honest with you. You can see from his qualifying today anyway, into the top 2. So it's very interesting to see if he can potentially win the race. But at the same time, Millis is just going to be there and pick him off if he makes mistakes. So there's a lot of things that can change very quickly in a race like this.
So, star of qualifying, no doubt, Aura. Dino getting his best result ever in esports in qualifying. Lugi easily the most improved from last week to this week. Absolutely demolished Lobby B qualifying there in the Huracan. We have 6 different cars in the top 6. And 5 different teams as well.
Yeah. No, they only repeat being FGR there as a whole.
Yes, a really good quali for FGR. Even though Rupee is down in Lobby B, he is starting in the points. He's starting P6 in Lobby B, so he needs to try and get himself on the podium.
Yeah, the real question is there a way that Aura gets screwed this week? Starts on pole. There isn't anyone around him that particularly has bad internet this week.
His teammate is going to start really quick off the line, so we might see an FGR 1-2. I can't remember how good the Vantage is off the line. The Supra is not very good. The Huracan's just average. The Lexus isn't great. The Ferrari, we might see Javi right at the front by turn 1 as well, with all these other cars being pretty average on their standing starts. So 2 to look out for, Milius and Javi, and obviously Aura, our pole sitter.
The ERA Evo calling Lugi a traitor.
Yeah.
In chat. It's obviously Lugi's got ERA in his name.
He is, I suppose, on loan, I guess you could say. Anyway, let's get the race started. They've had long enough to sort all of their downforce and strategies out.
Also, it still baffles me why you've got a VIN livery on your car. On a completely different logic, different note entirely. As we come towards the start of the race here, we're all lined up on the grid, just getting all the info up. We have replays also in this.
Mediums for Lugi, by the way. Mediums for Iggy. Pretty much everyone else was on softs.
Yeah. We also have the replays back this week.
Yes.
Which is going to be a fairly interesting
We're going to need them.
Yeah. 5 red lights. It's lights out, away we go, down towards turn 1. Now Dino did not get a good start. Javi, however, did, as he jumps up into 5th, then he's into 4th straight away, looking to the inside as Aura covers it off. The Dino round the outside of the Aston, and someone's already off the track. I think that was Miller's going a bit deep. I don't know whether that was under contact or not. Javi getting a bit squashed out of turn 1. I think that Lugi going far too far to the inside of turn 2. Aura and Dino side by side through the S's. Here in the first sector, it's carnage already at the start of the race here in eSports. And well, Millis and Aura still 2-3. Javi's jumped up to 5th as he's going side by side with Lugi into the tunnel. They're still going at it. It looks like we've got a fight further back as well for a split second. I think that was Iggy and Matty. It is. Iggy looks to have won that. Oh, we got the wrong way round. That's one of the Norwegians.
It's Halex.
It's Halex. And that is not good news. Well, we'll see what happened to him here.
Javi nearly loses it, and then Mike actually spins him round. We might see that in the stewards.
Yeah, he got tagged. And it looks like Dino's giving a little bit of a gap right now to Aru. Went a little bit deep in the hairpin there. You could see it as soon as he went inside that he had a little bit of an issue. We still got side-by-side fighting between Luki and Javi as they head down the hill for the first time. Looking like Luki's going to try and maybe help Javi here rather than hinder him. We've got a little bit of a gap forming from the first 4 to 5th.
Yes,
as
quite
Javi,
a big gap.
Yeah,
and the reason
Javi
is that the battling with Lugi. Lugi's on the mediums and really battling for every position here, which is costing Javi and the drivers behind as well.
Oh, it looked like he went a little bit deep there. Mike might be about to go to the inside. Now he backs off.
Good exit for Lugi there.
Yeah, and he needed it, but now Javi also needs to use that advantage that he got, given the better tyres, and start to drive away from Lugi, because Lugi might become a potential bottleneck in this race if he is allowed to come back through on that Ferrari of Eric's in front. So yeah, Javi's got to get away now. He's got to catch up to the 4 guys at the front. Evo's got away pretty good as well, with Millis, Aura and Dino at the front. Matty's up into 8th, Iggy's in 9th, Kepler in 10th. Yeah. That's where Kepler started this race. It looks like Zico is the car behind that. Yep, Zico in 11th with Attengren in 12th. As we go down the straight now, will there be a move here from Kepler? I doubt it, given that Iggy's in
depends
one of the fastest straight line speed.
It depends if he knows that Iggy's on the mediums. Absolutely could outbrake him here if he chose to. Doesn't decide to. Mike also had a little look and backed out of a move there. Actually, he got away with it because Lugi is down into P7 now. So let's go back and see how that happened.
Yeah, it looked like just a normal routine thing down the inside of the straight here, and gets away with a little bit of a late break on Lugi, who's just gone far too deep. Yeah, but I'd say Lugi's just gone far too deep trying to get the space, and that will just be perfectly negotiated from the ERA driver to put him up into 6th. Overtaking the Spider driver of GT. Spider GT, sorry. Dino getting away pretty quickly. 0.8 of a second on Aura right now. Bearing in mind the front 3, I believe, the front 4 actually all on softs to start this race. Evo just trying to get himself back within that second on the 2 FGR guys that currently sit 2 and 3. Bearing in mind that at the end of the first race of the season, ERA took a fairly sizable lead after their 1-2 at Daytona. They might be eaten away here.
Yeah, Lugi on the mediums now has been caught up by Matty, who is on the softs, and Kepler has got past Iggy like we thought he would. Actually, where is Iggy? Iggy is in 10th, so he's not actually fallen too far back, but they're both struggling. Lugi now struggling against Matty. Let's see if Matty is brave on the brakes. These are 2 Lamborghinis.
Shouldn't be too different, but again, Luki is just too kind.
Oh, there's some contact. Lugi's been knocked a little bit, and here comes another Lamborghini. Keplero's going to try and benefit from this, and it's going to be a drag race between the 2.
That's very interesting because you can see that Lugi, I said last lap that Lugi went deep, but it seems to be his preferential line because he drags it all the way out wide and then almost V's it straight into the corner and, well, onto the outside of the corner and comes back in, try and get a good exit. And he's going to try and go against Kepler a little bit deep there.
Here comes Zico.
A little bit of contact. Zico trying to follow through the hole, as you said. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it.
Oh, good. They all avoid each other pretty well there, actually. Half-second penalty for Kepler is probably going to drop him behind Iggy now.
Potentially, yeah. And Harlock might not be too far behind either. Someone's had a really, really awful start, by the way.
Yeah, Harlock's right there as well.
Yeah, and someone tailed off at the back.
Towards the back, we've got Harlox. Timgren must have had a problem on this lap, actually, because he set 126s so far. And Ahmed all the way at the back, but he's got more than 50% fuel. This is strategic for Ahmed. He probably started on the mediums, and now he's just going to do softs for the rest of the race and trying to get an undercut on everyone who's battling quite a lot. So it might be a good strategy there for Ahmed. We've seen him do it before last season as well.
Yeah, and 158 off the first lap is where his gap has formed, that's a certain. Dino looking through here to hold on to the lead against Dora and Millis and doing it fairly well, albeit that gap has come down. It was 0.8 of a second this time on the last lap.
Yeah,
it's
Evo is completely dropping off the back of them.
Yeah, that's pretty. That was not what I thought would happen, given the fact that Evo last week was in a decent, sizable control of the race in Daytona between him and Nick for a large chunk of it anyway. And this week, kind of bouncing the other way. FGR have 2-3, and Dino has control of this race right now.
Yeah, Dino looking comfortable. ERA not in the podium positions at the moment. We know the Lexus has a good fuel tank though, so that might be his moment of opportunity with the underfuel to try and get track position. But on pace, these three are on a different planet.
Yeah, it's
just going on a bit further back. Mike's still keeping Alex Habby honest.
Yeah, and he needs to, because he got past Luki, he got past him a couple of laps ago now, and he now can't let Javi go, because he knows that if Javi goes, then that gap between the front four and the rest of them becomes fairly untenable at that point. And it's even though it is like 5, he's going to go for this.
Javi gives him the safe gas to back out of it. And that is going to be a poor exit, and Javi's going to survive this straight for sure. Matty's catching up to them though pretty quickly. This is a good start for Matty. Obviously he's a race winner last season, so we know he's capable of a bit higher up than P7.
Yeah, also Zico's up to P8, which means Kepler has disappeared somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where.
Kep had that half-second penalty. He's now behind Iggy.
Yeah, he's now 11th. Yeah, you're right. So Zico
Lugi
up in 8th. To the inside. Won't get it. Looks like Zico's covered off that door pretty well. And Zico will hold on to 8th now then. So we know Zico's on the soft. We know Lugi's on the medium. Ziggy behind is also on the medium. So it might give Lugi a little bit of breathing room now.
Lugi's got to look over his shoulder though now, because Iggy, with that very fast Ford GT, might find it fairly straightforward to get past if he gets a good exit out of any of these corners. Yeah, as long as he can stay ahead of Kep himself though.
Exactly, I was about to say that it's going to be more for Iggy defending from Kep because of the tyre difference than it will be going forward anyway. So more than likely gives Lugi a little bit of breathing room. Zico will should be able to start driving away now. Then you can see it right there that Lugi gets a better exit. And that Ford GT, will Kepler elect to stay in the slipstream? He does. He bumped him, as you said, as he comes down towards the hairpin here. I'm not entirely sure there's any room to go for it. He's still going to be stuck behind Iggy for a little while longer. There goes Harlex!
From Harlex. And is he going to get punished by Harlock? He isn't actually. So he gets away with that, just going a little bit deep. Avoided everyone pretty well, to be honest.
Just about.
Here comes Iggy. Ford GT, this is where it is at its strongest. The Lambo starts to struggle here.
Going down into turn 1, pulls to the inside, looks to late brake. Gets on the apex well. Will he have enough on the exit?
Space. That was beautiful.
Gets it. Yeah.
Now here comes Kepler as well, trying to come through. And Lugi has to, well actually, he didn't back out.
Went deep.
Yeah, Kepler went deep, but he's managed to keep it. Here comes Harlex as well. They're all so close together.
I was about to say, Luki looked all out of sorts going through the final corner in that S's. I think he may have just been a little bit spooked by Kepler, if nothing else, and he's lost out again.
Wrong strategy to start on the mediums for Lugi. He's just only gone backwards. Could come back to him later in the race, of course, but he's got a lot of overtaking to do when he's on better tyres later on.
Yeah.
And here comes Harlock. Compound the misery.
You are right. Lugi started in 4th.
Yep.
So it's an awful start of the race for him to be down in 12th.
For Spider,
regardless of the
12th and 14th Spider GT.
Yeah. Here comes Harlock looking to the inside, potentially on the inside of Lugi. We know Lugi likes the wide line, and again it's going to come back to bite him because Harlock's going to take that inside line and that position without much of a fight at all.
So, a lot of action going on further down. Let's actually see what's going on ahead. So, 7/10 Dino has extended the lead by, still really within slipstream massively. Aura, with the exact same fuel left, only 4/10 ahead of Ilias. So, the FGL boys working together, they are still within 1.5 seconds of the lead. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens when they come into the pits. Do you think it's a 1-stop or a 2-stop?
I'm not entirely sure here, to be honest with you. You got that. You can look at the tyre there. That about what, maybe about 40% all the way through. Lap 8, I don't really see. Yeah, I don't really see many opting for 1-stop. I'm not too knowledgeable about the strategy on this version of the Deep Forest layout. Anyway, it's been a while since we came here. So
here we go. Arix versus Project Platypus.
That is going to be very interesting if Mate's going to have something to go at here. Yep. He might look to the inside on the Ferrari. He's definitely going to look, but he's going to not go for it. Bounce it all the way to the outside. Try to get a good exit.
That was a great exit.
I was about to say, yeah, it looked really clean from Mate as he goes after Javi now. He's going to get the entire straight square for slipstream.
And he's gone for it.
This might be a look. He might even not use it. It's just going to be a drag race down to turn 1 now. There's neither of slipstream. It's just going to be a drag all the way to the first corner. Mate is going to have it though, and Mate takes 6th.
Really good start to the race from Mate. Up into P6 now. Lamborghini getting the better of the Ferrari there.
Yeah, needed it with the slipstream. Needed the slipstream to get through, of course, but at the end of the day, that exit out the hairpin was just so clean. You're going to find it very hard to defend from that in that position, especially if you're the car ahead, if you don't nail it yourself, which Javi kind of did, but nowhere near as well as Mate did by all accounts.
Yeah, absolutely. Iggy is currently getting absolutely hounded by Harlex here.
Getting hounded by a little bit more than Harlex, and 3 or 4 cars on the back of him as well.
This is a high stakes scenario for Iggy to be in. He's on the mediums and he's got the advantage on all these drivers, strategy wise currently. He just needs to be a nuisance but not losing too much time to the cars ahead.
He might be about to lose it to lose this position to the Aston Martin and get in the straight here. Down toward the hairpin, the brakes, and of course, that's always going to favour the Aston Martin against the Ford GT, and the Aston Martin is ahead.
Yeah, but Iggy's going to have a chance to get back straight away here.
He will. Let's see how long it'll take.
Harlex going... oh no, he's not actually going as defensive as he should have done. He's completely left the door open for Iggy there. And look at that speed on that car. He's fully ahead before the break. So Harlex going for it late in the corner, and he backs out of it, but this is going to put him out of shape. Kepler's going to try and take it now.
Kepler does take it. Look at that to the inside. That's a nice little move. They're still side by side through the S's here. Harlex trying to hold that inside line, not giving up just yet.
Oh,
and they're still going. A little bit of contact, I think, a little bit between the two. And here comes Harlock on the inside to go through on Kepler and get that move done.
Yeah. Unlucky for Kep, he's down a couple now and he's lost a bit of sight, but not time, crucially. Harlex has lost over a second to Iggy now, as the tyres are starting to wear a bit more as well.
Yeah, Iggy has survived the onslaught potentially.
Dino must be under a lot of pressure here. Aura is still around about 6-7 tenths behind and just not giving him a moment to breathe. He's been lapping in the low 25s, 25-2, 4 laps in a row for Dino, so he's coping with pressure fairly well.
I was about to say that if he is being under pressure, he's dealing with it fairly well, because Aura isn't really making any dent at all in the slightest. So it's calm and controlled from Dino, which it's what I was alluding to earlier on when I said that I think they might be ready to take that next step from being the guy who just picks people off when they make mistakes to actually taking the race to people.
Yeah, Milius actually has dropped off a little bit now. So potentially just not able to keep up with the pace of the top two. Looks like he did a 25.7 a couple of laps ago, which actually is still pretty quick, but not quick enough to keep up with the top Evo and Mike in a solid P4 and 5. So that's still really good points for them. They're looking to protect their championship lead.
Yeah, their issue being that if the FGR group are second and third, then that lead is going to start to whittle down just a little bit.
Yes.
We are still very early in the season, obviously. First 6 weeks is just figuring out, feeling each other out in terms of the teams and getting yourselves into that top 5 position to go for double points in week 7 and week 8. So, yeah, far too early to put any actual notes to the season yet, to be honest with you.
Milius was in a 24-hour race, and then he's joined this race less than 24 hours later. Good on him.
Yeah.
He's he's got GT in his blood.
Yeah, he's actually doing a very good job of this race as well right now. If you've done a 24-hour race, you get involved with that takes a lot out of you. And getting this kind of race, which is a more fast-paced, less room for error kind of environment.
Capital's dropped another position, by the way. He's down behind Lugi again.
Well, the mediums are going to start coming back, aren't they?
Yes, this is definitely starting to get to a... they're at least equal, I reckon, at the moment. Someone has a penalty.
Oh, Dino's dropped to second, by the way. Aura's hit the lead.
Oh, God. Let's try and find the replay. He's already in second. God damn it.
It must have been down toward turn 1 then. It must have been.
Yeah.
Aura up in 3/10 of a second in the lead now then, so we resume.
So this is
Aura
huge.
Actually, I was about to say, Aura has a really good shot at winning a race in ALR.
For the first time. He should have won several, and he currently has 0 race wins. I reckon Dino must have got that hairpin that we've just seen a little bit wrong, and Aura will have had a run on him. And he might struggle to to actually pull alongside in slipstream against this GR Supra. Although, that looks pretty good around the corner there.
I was about to say, it looks like he's going to give it a go regardless. As we head down towards turn 1 into lap number 13, we shouldn't be too far away from the first set of pit stops. Dino is not close enough to Aura. Aura stays in the lead of this race at the beginning of lap 13. So, all smiles for FGR right now. Not entirely sure how Rupi's doing in lobby B, but it couldn't be going much better in this one right now.
Rupi is P6 in lobby B, so still scoring a handful there. That's where he started as well. Aura's over a second ahead of Dino. I think Dino made a little mistake through the tunnel. Yeah, and now he's going to be outside of slipstream.
He is slowly losing it. You can see that Aura's just starting to break away now, and that second gap is crucial. It's not as crucial as it was at Daytona. Daytona is a whole different kettle of fish, but that second gap and the ability to latch onto that slipstream is still relatively crucial on these large straights of Deep Forest.
Yeah, Dino struggling to lap anywhere near his 25 flat that he set.
You think it might be bringing Millis back into this?
Millis is very close to getting within the slipstream. And potentially Aura was not sure. Well, his pace was hidden a little bit, being stuck behind Dino. He just couldn't get the overtake done. So I'm half expecting Aura just to drive away at this point.
It would be, it depends on how long you can stay outside that 1 second mark for, because it keeps dropping in and out as we go through the lap. But yeah, if Aura can get himself a maybe 1.5 or 2 second gap, get that breathing room, then you would expect him to be comfortable enough to drive away from there. Javi and Zico down towards turn 1 here. Javi went a little bit deep and again almost had a Daytona-esque collision forming there in turn 1 at Deep Forest.
These are our 2 Tier 1 race winners so far this season. Javi won the sprint, Zico won the feature. Battling for P7 in eSports right now.
That just showed the level of standard that the eSports class is in right now.
Yes.
Well,
Just
would be
hit the
good
wall
news
there.
for the league.
He kicked up some dust. No worries. Here comes Zico now. GR Supra. Oh, is that going to be a half second? He went a little bit sideways around the corner.
That's as you pointed out, he snapped the car a little bit there, but he should be fine. It's not half second. It's far too late to have had that penalty now.
Yeah.
As they head to the penalty line themselves, and down toward the hairpin. It's Zico going for this. No, he backs out. You could see that he, even
Everyone
if he wasn't sure, had a very minute look.
Everyone is pouring into the pits now. I don't think anyone has any fuel left, apart from Javi. Javi carrying on, so maybe he was falling backwards because he was fuel saving. So Javi's going to actually take the lead of this race.
Mike has got the most fuel of anyone on the grid at the moment going into the pits. So we'll see how that's going to play out. We'll see the strategies start to form now as well, whether or not it is going to be one stop or two stop. Bear in mind they still have to use 2 sets of compounds.
Yep. We've got Ahmed, who made his pit stop first on the first lap, I'm pretty sure. Let's see how many people he manages to undercut here. Mike and Evo are out. There was quite a big gap behind them. They're already in turn 1. So Ahmed slots himself in to P8 on the softs. Let's see what everyone has opted for. Aura is on the softs and just behind A Timgren. Dino is on the softs. Let's see if anyone actually came out on the mediums. Matty's out on the mediums. Zico just behind him. They'll be working together out on the mediums. Then we got Harlock still out on the softs, and Halix out on the softs as well, going side by side.
Going at each other. I'm about to say, going at each other here.
Dear.
Round. Halix is round. Harlock's got a little bit out of sorts as well. Iggy's gone round as well.
Harlock's actually rejoined pretty quickly there.
He got away with it, that's a certain. I don't know if there was enough in that to actually decipher contact or anything. Can't tell from that angle. Can't tell if he just dropped it.
We'll see that in the steward's room.
Yes, we can't tell whether or not he dropped it or not there. That's one for something else.
It looked like he was starting to drop it, and then the it was completed by Harlock, by the looks of it, essentially.
Here comes Iggy, going a bit deep. Might be a little bit too close to Harlock for comfort as they head into the hairpin. He wasn't sure whether or not that Ford GT was going to get slowed down enough. So Javi is now pit. We'll see where he comes out. But it also, there's actually incoming 10th right now.
He's coming out, he's been overtaken by Matty, and he's been overtaken by Zico, who he was ahead of going into the pits. So he had the undercut done by Project Platypus.
They're all on the same tyre now as well, by the way. Javi, Zico and Matty all on mediums. But it does show that to a decent extent, especially for the front of the grid, that they're committed to the 2-stop. Because the few of them that went onto a second set of softs at the front.
Yeah, everyone is 2-stopping for sure. Potentially Ahmed's 3-stopping, I'm not sure. If the softs could do it a 1-stop, well, we know they can't. So he's completely out of position.
Yeah. As for why it's for someone asking chat why it's keep coming up saying please refuel, it's just a thing after you do a replay.
GT, yeah, it's
just GT thing. Yeah, it's just a GT thing. We're not paying attention to it because we've had this before. So it's just we've got to deal with it for the ability to have replays at the end of the day, I think. Attingred's now in the pits as well. Is there a potential move for Harlex on Iggy on the inside? He goes for it. He might be a little bit too deep. He avoids Harlex and gets the move.
Yeah, really good overtake there for Harlex. I didn't think he was going to hit the apex, but he absolutely managed to. So that was probably inch perfect. Now he has to go defensive.
He might, if I was Harlock, I would have been looking to use Harlock for a little bit of that sentence.
Yeah.
I would have been trying to use Harlock as much as I possibly could there for Slipstream to protect from the Ford GT. In the end, it didn't matter because Harlock took the inside and cut the door very much in half there for Iggy. And yeah, so Harlock gets himself in front of Iggy. He's now got Harlock in front of him. That's never going to be a sentence I'm going to get used to.
So I did predict Aero would drive away from Dino, and he's currently getting caught. he is purple, crucially, but he did set a 1 minute 27 2 laps ago, so that's probably real Dino back in. Milius still struggling to keep up with these guys, but he does have the fastest lap with a 24.8. Let's see if Aura can get that off of Milius. Obviously, you get a point for fastest lap as well, or actually 2 points in this lobby. 2 points for pole already for FGR as well.
Yeah, Aura got that. Aura having a very good day at the office right now, but it also seems to be whatever is said by you, the opposite is happening.
I know, right?
Also, ERA have got themselves 4 and 5 and
pits.
potentially in a position now to help each other. And that could only mean good things for ERA at this point in time, to potentially try and catch themselves up with Millis, potentially maybe steal a bottom step of the podium at some point in this race. Iggy trying to go after Harlux again. Harlux very comfortable in the fact that he was a bit too far ahead of that Ford GT for the Ford GT to make anything substantial. And yeah, at the end of the day, Harlux is ahead. Harlock is the car directly in front.
Bloody. Still better than what I dealt with in Season 2 with Varsvartavis.
We've also got Javi, Zico and Matti directly in front of that, by the way, when they were all on the medium, so they might be getting caught in the near future.
They should, they really should be getting caught by the soft runners, and they need to stay ahead before the next pit stop, otherwise they're going to have to overtake medium runners at the end. So a lot of guys opting to end the race on the mediums, which I'm a bit surprised at.
Yeah, it's not usually how the strategy plays out, but at the end of the day, they know a lot more than we do.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Maybe they know something that we do not. Not that it actually matters for anybody, like anybody lower than potentially 5th right now. They are just fighting for the back, middle to back end of the places. The top 5 have well and truly driven away.
Absolutely, but the top 5 all need to go on medium tyres. And then but there's a 12-second gap to Matty. Wow, what the hell? It was 4 seconds, I'm pretty sure, not too long ago. Yeah, but the lap times, it's just the lap times they're losing. 26s and 27s on the mediums. I don't think you want to be in the 27s on the mediums.
Oh, we'll see you later on. I don't think. Well, if people are trying to do 24 high, like you see Millis there on the softs, and the mediums are probably somewhere in the low 26s, high 25s around.
How is Iggy in 9th right now? He's already there. Something's happened.
Something happened to Harlock.
With Halix and Harlock.
Yeah. It doesn't look like they've lost too much time. It might just be Iggy actually getting a bit of a run.
Yeah, unless there was a bit of contact between the two of them.
Yeah, maybe.
Here comes Harlix again. He's done a beautiful overtake on Iggy already at this hairpin. Let's see if he can do it again.
One thing too short. No, not going for it this time, but they are closing down Javi like there is no tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I expect
Javi
that one.
Actually struggling to keep up with the Project Platypus boys as well.
Yeah, Javi needs to find some pace. He needs to find it very quickly, albeit the next couple of weeks we go to Autopolis in the next couple of weeks. That Ferrari should be like one of the best cars there.
Should win, I think. Javi should win in Autopolis. Putting it out there.
Well, Alex looking to try and hang on to the back of Iggy after Javi went wide just slightly, and now we're in a freeway fight for 8th. Well and truly brought Javi back into this.
So we have our 2-time Tier 1 champion and the man who's always been on top of the eSports ALR rankings, Javi. We've got our record-breaking Tier 1 champion for the number of times he's won it, Iggy. And we've got Harlix, who we don't really know anything about. All battling for P8 right now.
I was about to say, Harlix is the newcomer onto the scene. Did the one race last week at Daytona. Admittedly, could have gone better for him at Daytona. I feel like he'll probably have a little bit of things that you want to iron out. Here comes Iggy on the inside of Javi. Let's see if the brakes will let him do it. It should. Alex is going to try and follow through the hole. created here, and Harlock is actually going to try and take advantage as well. There's a little bit of out of line there from Harlock, so it allowed Harlock to try and put himself back in the mix. Iggy did get past Javi. That didn't really take too long either. Bear in mind that Iggy has already been on his medium tyre.
Javi not trying to get the position back from Iggy, which I think is smart considering he's on the mediums. He needs to just focus on the lap time.
I think Harlock's had a little bit out of sorts there. Harlock's, yeah, he did
He's got the
get
position.
a little sideways and lost the position to the Mercedes. Or is that the Porsche? Sorry, I think it's like Porsche. I'm apparently just mixing German manufacturers up now. There's a Porsche. But yeah, Harlock getting a good move there, taking advantage of the mistake from Halex. And now needs to get past Javi, because Javi is going to bottleneck them away from Iggy if they don't.
Yeah, Iggy now chasing the Project Platypus boys down on medium tyres, completely left Javi in the dust, and now Javi's backing up the two drivers behind him.
Yeah, and it's going to have to be, they're going to have to make a move at some point. You've got also Zico and Matty being reeled in ahead by Iggy as well, and Javi's going to be able to hold on against these two as they head through the hairpin.
Bit of a poor exit there from Harlock. It looked like he was a bit wide around the corner. It actually didn't allow Halix to get any closer. But let's have a quick check on what's happening up front. It looks like Aura is finally building a gap. 1.7 seconds on Dino. Dino having a couple of poor laps, so almost a 1 minute 26 on that last lap, which is almost 2 seconds slower than Aura, which is why he's found himself falling back a little bit, completely out of slipstream now.
Yeah, and it's that last lap that just opened the door, and this is what we were saying beforehand, that if Aura can get that breathing room, that 1.5 second mark, you would expect Aura to now take complete control of this race.
Yeah. Mike also has just overtaken Evo on the last lap or two, so that's the second race in a row that Evo's losing positions to his own teammate.
Yeah, last week was for first and second. I think he'd rather it would be last week's scenario again rather than where they're at this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fourth and fifth, the other driver is still fighting in that battle for, what, sixth now, I guess, because there's 4 or 5 cars all beside each other in the mid-pack because of the amount of medium and soft tyre difference in runners in that midfield, and they're all gaining. Well, they're all losing on Evo here, 14 seconds, 15 seconds now, the gap between Evo and Matty.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a gap coming back anytime soon.
Even with the medium, something would have to happen in the top 5 for them to not finish where they are. Still a solid result for ERA. As it stands, they would lose the lead of the championship to FGR, though, with how dominant FGR have been, knocking out 2 of the 3 podium positions at the moment.
Yeah, and Rupee obviously still scoring a semi-decent chunk of points in the second lobby that we have up. As of right now, though, there's still a lot that can change. Aura's got the advantage on Dino. The ERA boys can still catch up to Millis, because Millis is still driving on his own pretty much right now, so you have to guard against complacency, because he's just done, as was said earlier, he did a 24-hour race before joining this, so maybe fatigue might set in at some point. We'll wait and see, though, because there's still potential for stealing some points off FGR if something was to go wrong. We know that Aura's never won a race in this league, despite trying literally every version of every method available at this point.
Yeah. So we've got a Toyota here versus a Ford. Zico is on the medium tyres, coming under a lot of pressure now from Iggy. Iggy's got an opportunity to chuck it into the hairpin. It looks like he's going to take it.
He's going to go for it.
They both brake incredibly late.
Almost,
and he's got it. What an overtake. Once again, Iggy up into P7 now and chasing down Matty.
Yeah, they almost both careened straight into the side of Matty then. As you can see in that move here, going down the inside, and they both just did not get on the brakes enough, realistically. So Iggy will take the position, but just about avoided Matty in the process.
Yeah, Matty looked like he braked maybe slightly earlier than he would normally, and these two as late as humanly possible without going straight into the barriers.
Yeah, also not that far ahead of Harlock and Halix as well. which is not good news for Mate and
Yeah, especially
for
Zico, because he's
here.
the first one.
Yeah, and they're going to be brought into the kind of battle that Javi was brought into not that long ago. At Tim Gren, I'm surprised at, because he was having such a nice time at Daytona before DCing, and then
Yeah,
now he's just having a...
his last lap was in the 27s as well. I know he's on the mediums, but I think in Lobby A you don't ever want to be in the 27s. Ahmed on the softs again, trying his different strategy. Currently in 14th, 5 seconds behind Kep, who's on the mediums, and trying to keep up with Lugi, who's on the softs himself, trying to make some progress up. He's got 6 seconds down to Javi, who's dropped to 11th now.
Yeah, Javi is obviously that one that got overtaken by the soft runners early. And look at that gap at the front now. We said it. We called it when earlier on when they were fighting, that if Aero could get that breathing room, it'd be game over. And I think we might be looking at the first couple of steps towards game over here.
Yeah.
To that 2.8 seconds, I believe that is.
2.8, yeah. BX has just said Tim Gren's trying the one stop. So if you take, what, like 20 odd seconds off him, well, even if you take 25 off, he's still outside the top 11. So I'm not sure that one stop's going to be working for him, to be honest. Like we were saying, we didn't think the one stop would be possible. Well,
don't know if it'd be possible to any sort of success. Anyway, that's the issue you've got to contemplate. It's not whether or not the strategies are possible. You've got to have the pace on the strategies now. I think he's got past Mate.
Yep, Iggy's got past Mate somewhere, already fully ahead when we try and look at the replay.
You can only assume it'd be the hairpin then, or down the 1-2-1. Harlock's got a penalty, which is going to drop him precisely nowhere, because I think Halix is a little bit too far back, with Javi there just in the background of the shot. Yeah, it's just going to create a little bit of a gap, a little bit of breathing room for the two.
Oh, and he's gone completely deep there.
Never mind.
Oh, nearly some contact. They managed to rejoin, but a big mistake there from Harlock. Completely lost sight of Zico now on those mediums as well.
I was about to say, guess, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me either, considering the fact that I was trying to say that Harlock would be not that far behind, and it'll give a little bit of breathing room to Zico, and then he just dives the entire way into the corner.
Yeah.
I think that's what we call the opposite of breathing room, right?
Also, I just want to throw it out there. FGR are on for a triple podium as it stands. Rupi's worked his way up into P3. So this is an absolutely huge night potentially for FGR if they could just finish where they currently are.
You got to get to the line. Which we've known before has been a slight issue with the FGR boys in terms of starting well or being involved in incidents and not being able to get as good of results as prior. Yeah. So they've got to get this one while they have the opportunity and get everyone over the line clean. Oh, talking about clean, that was not.
The softs are starting to go off, and that's where you can feel it on those corners where you really want to get on the power as early as possible, but had to do a big correction there to avoid the spin. Halix losing ground to Harlock, and I think we are well and truly at the crossover point between the softs and the mediums, because look at how Iggy has failed to get away from Matty and Zico since he's done the overtake a few laps ago.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a gap, but not too much in terms of how everyone's going at the moment. Zico should be able to hold off Harlock down the straight here.
Yeah, comfortably, especially with the slipstream that he's got himself.
Yeah. Oh, Halix has got a half-second penalty in the background there. Not entirely sure where that came from.
Javi isn't too far behind now as well. Like I said, the medium's coming back to them. Unfortunately for Javi, he's let everyone overtake him. But if you get close enough to Halix, a bit closer than he is now before the penalty zone, he's going to get that P10 back. Yeah.
Not entirely sure it was Javi's choice to let them overtake them.
No.
Kind of sit and duck more than anything else. But yeah, also the front five has separated themselves out quite drastically at this point. You look at the mini-map there on the back straight.
Yeah, Evo himself is 1.5 behind his teammate. Then there's almost 5 seconds to Milius, who's stuck to 2.8 behind Dino. And yeah, Dino's almost, well, he's going to be probably 5 seconds back by the time that they come into the pits at this rate.
At this point, what is stopping Aura from winning this race? Because he is away. He's gone. I guess the only answer is himself at this point.
Man, the pressure. If it was me, and I joined this league, and I was pretty much the quickest driver every single week I raced, and I still didn't have my race win. Find myself with a 4.5 second lead, pretty much half the race left to go. I'd be shitting myself a bit, to be honest.
as someone who has been in this position in terms of not winning races for a long time for various reasons, the pressure does start to build up the longer it goes. So he needs to get this now.
Yes.
That's a certain. The confidence boost he'll get from this will be massive for FGR as well.
Absolutely, especially if they're leading the standings. It'll be close between them and ERA, I think, as it stands. And Falcon might drop a little bit further behind, and everyone else will be struggling. It looks like Zico's overtaken Matty, by the way. So Zico looking a little bit more pacey. This will be a tactical switch between them. Matty coming under a bit of pressure now from Harlock himself.
Matty's sliding all over the place,
Yeah.
so you can see that through the middle sector there. And now the Porsche's going to go at him pretty easily here through this back straight. I don't really know if Matty's got the resources to fight this. Dino's in the pits. At the front, here comes Harlock. To the inside as we head down the back straight toward the hairpin. Harlock breaks earlier than Mate does.
They're going
still
for it, they're
side
giving
by
each other
side.
space.
Harlock got it.
He has. Dino, the first one to come in the pits. Is Harlock going to come in as well? No, he carries on, so these guys are going to stay side by side, but Harlock's got the inside corners here, which helps him get a full car's width ahead. Matty has to go into the slipstream, if he can find it. Out of the pits as well comes Dino in the middle of this battle.
Oh, it's going three
and
wide.
there's contact. Dino gets the position. Oh my goodness. And Harlock gets it on Matty as well. Let's see what that looked like from Dino's point of view.
I was about to say, that looked a little bit all over the place in terms of coming out of this pit lane. As we come down towards turn 1, you can see he wanted the
Harlock
inside
turns
line.
into him. He can't. There's a car there, mate.
Yeah. It's just someone somewhere's not realised. Someone somewhere's not realised the scenario. And I think that's the...
That's worked out very well for Dino, getting in front of those two. He's obviously still behind Zico on the mediums.
Well, in comes Aura, so time to compare where Aura comes out.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Dino on the softs again.
Slightly undercut him.
So he's doing another soft stint here.
Restart.
It's going to have to be. The softs aren't getting to the end, and he hasn't put on his mediums yet. I'm 99% sure.
Well, it was a mediums. It was a soft second stint, and he started on the soft.
Whoa,
as well.
who's gone?
Javi's had a bit of a mare there.
Come on, Javi.
Yeah, that's a... So this is an interesting decision now. Dino has done 3 soft stints.
He's trying to get the undercut on the
that's just
FGR
never
boys,
stopping.
that's why.
Quite frankly, Javi
Unfortunate
there on the replay is never stopping. Here comes Millis out the pits with Javi. Just saw it a second ago where a couple of cars not paying attention to where they were on the track. This time Javi's not going to be close enough to turn in on Millis into
because of Javi going deep on that hairpin. Millis gets out ahead of him and isn't going to be held up. He's got a nice 2-second cushion to Matty, who's behind Dino, who's now caught up to the back of Zico. So this is going to start he's going to have some drivers in his way, essentially. Zico's not going to be in a rush to make a pit stop, and he's got some nice slipstream from a 4GT ahead of him.
You know what the interesting thing is?
Yeah.
Aura hasn't been caught up in this scenario and is gone.
Yeah, Aura's doing something different. How much fuel does he have left? Oh no, he's come out of the pits ahead of them. Yep, right, he's already made his pit stop. This is crazy.
That was my point. That was my point. That's what I was trying to point out in the scenario there. He had already come out ahead of them, and he's on mediums as well, so he's going to the end. BX has just pointed out that Dino might be doing the opposite of what we saw Ahmed do.
Yeah.
Where Ahmed pitted on the first lap, so Dino might be pitting right at the end.
Absolutely. It could be an option. That's going to drop him down quite a lot, though.
Oh, he goes to the inside. Zico doesn't even attempt to fight it.
No, he doesn't have anything to fight anyway. This isn't his battle, to be honest. Dino's now got 4.5 seconds to try and chase Aura down by. Now, can he do it? That's the question.
Well, we know that Aura is now on the medium tyres, Dino's on the soft, so in theory that 4-second gap should start to hammer all the way down, and it should come down fairly quickly. The issue they've got is Dino isn't going to break however many seconds he needs in a pit stop.
Yeah.
Which is obviously then going to come and backfire. The real question is how badly is it going to backfire?
An important moment for Iggy coming out of the pit, still ahead of Harlex and Harlock. He's on fresh softs. Harlex is on softs as well. Even though he tried a bit of an undercut on Iggy, he couldn't get it done. And Harlock's on the medium, so he's going to start dropping back from this fight now. So this is looking really good for Iggy. Iggy has done his medium stint. I can't remember if Harlex has. I don't think so.
I don't recognise him being on the mediums at any point. I think he's on the same kind of strategy as Dino might be at this point as well. Deco now in off of his medium tyre at the front. You might want to go back to Iggy and company though, because they were Iggy and company was really close together down the back straight.
Here we go.
And it doesn't turn into anything. So Iggy holds on there against Harlex as they head down the back straight into the final couple of corners on the lap. Zico's still in the pit, so we'll see where Zico comes out in retrospect to everyone else.
You'd imagine Iggy would get the undercut done here. And that means that Harlex will get through. Where is Zico? Oh, I take it back. Zico's in front, and now he's on the softs. He's not going to be caught by Iggy like he was previously, and he can try and drive away. So Iggy and Harlex fighting there has probably allowed Zico to get the overcut done.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's got himself out in front. They're both on the same tyre, so realistically Zico's got the advantage now.
Absolutely. This is looking good for Zico to get a solid result here. I think he's got 11 behind Ahmed, but Ahmed's on a completely different strategy. And then Kepleros is still yet to pit, as well as Matty up in P3. Matty, I don't think, has another lap in him, to be honest.
No, he's going in now. He wouldn't be too different to what the strategy played out for Zico anyway. They're on the same team.
Yes.
And yep, that's just confirming that Matej is now into the pit. So we'll see where he comes out in respect to Zico, and that's the battle that we'll keep an eye out on. Kepler stays out, so we will see when he elects the pit. Same with Ahmed, who has already
here
done
we
his
go.
stop.
Iggy versus Halex, round 4 by this point.
Yeah, doesn't look like anything was happening there, and Zico obviously the car in front. Iggy, I don't know if Iggy's in slipstream of the car ahead here. Matej's still in.
He'll be getting a slight benefit from.
Also, can I just say, Matej is nowhere near getting out ahead of Zico and company.
No, but he is crucially ahead of Harlock. They're both on mediums. Oh no, sorry, Matty's on the soft, so he'll be able to drive away. Well, he should be able to drive away quite comfortably from Harlock. Lugi on the softs might start catching him as well.
I was about to say, Matej is now lost out to Zico and to Iggy in particular. I don't really see much of a chance for him to make those positions up. He might be able to get Harlex, who I believe is on the medium tyres. That might be something that might happen. Oh, that's a bit deep.
I was just about to say, the gap's being cut by about 2 seconds. But a bit of a poor corner there. Actually, Dino's still got a better exit than Aura, so I'm not sure what's going on with Aura. He set a 27 and a 26. He's on the mediums, but well, actually, he set a 25 on the mediums as well, so that's pretty solid. Dino absolutely should be catching him right now because he's on the softer compound.
Exactly, but we know Dino's still got a pit to go because he hasn't done his medium tyre yet. And if he hasn't, there goes Kepler into the pit, so you can get and Ahmed
at the same time.
Well.
Okay, they'll both be putting on softs probably to the end because we've got 14 laps left.
Yep, you can give the position to the likes of Zico and Iggy, as we were watching earlier on. But yeah, Dino's got to be catching right now. There's no choice. He has got to be catching Aura if he has any sliver of hope of winning this race. Quite frankly, the strategy that they've picked might be about to land them into an FGR 1-2. To be completely honest, depending on how well this stint goes for Dino at the end of the day.
So, Timgren and Ahmed trying completely different strategies. Doesn't seem to be working out for either of them because they're still in P14 and P15 after everyone's been making their pit stops. Kep on the softs can try and start to hunt down Lugi, but he's dropped 5.5 seconds to him. Lugi's going to try and catch Harlock as well, who's on the mediums. So
Yeah.
the key battle here is the battle for P7 at the moment.
Yeah. Also, Perry's trying to tell us to look at the connection for Harlock. We've been aware of Harlock's connection from the start. It is not rough enough to be removed from this race, not even close.
No, there's not. We haven't seen any big incidents, so.
Yeah, it's you've got to draw the line somewhere, and I don't think that's connection that's remotely worth removing him right now. He's been driving around people the entire race as well, where he hasn't really caused many issues whatsoever.
Mindful lag.
Yeah. But yeah, alright, continuing on, Javi's into the pits now, as you said.
Okay, Javi's gonna drop towards the back as well, so it doesn't look like a good night for Aero.
He's out now in 10th.
Oh, he's out.
Look.
And Harlock's got him. Harlock on the mediums goes completely wide in turn 1. Surely this is going to give Javi the position. He stuck it around the outside.
Got it. Harlock held that, which was fairly impressive.
Yes. And now Javi will be pretty annoyed that he's going to have to do this the hard way. Right, let's see what the gap at the front is started to decrease. It's below 2 seconds now. So maybe only a couple of laps away from Dino challenging for the race lead.
Yeah. He definitely will. He definitely will in the next lap or so. And then the issue is he's got to overtake him. And then in the next 12 laps, he's got to build, what, 15, 20 seconds? Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. He's got to do the same to Millis. He's got 9 right now on Millis. So that'll be the interesting scenario of how long the pit stop is as a whole. That's what you've got to remember.
Did you see that power slide by Dino through there? That was right on the edge of the limit, I think, with how much pressure he was putting on those tyres through the corner. Still slicing into Aura's lead. So this is the real test for Aura. Aura's laps. Solid 25s. He's lapping in the mediums, what some of the Lobby B guys were unable to do in qualifying on the softs. So this is very impressive.
Yeah, he actually has qualified the bottom 2 in Lobby A.
He's only 4/10 slower than Dino.
Yeah, and that is not enough for Dino to reverse this in any way, shape or form. And look at this on this lap as well. We came into this lap, this gap was what, 1.7, 1.8? It's what, just dipped under 1.5 there for the first time in a long time, and that's simply not enough time he's gaining back. It just isn't.
Good exit though for Dino. He's actually cut a couple of tenths off just from the exit of the hairpin there, which is exactly what you'd expect from the softs. Now he's losing time pretty quickly because of that GR Supra.
It's very interesting because he'd also just gained 0.6 of a second. I think that was on Millis on that last lap. So whilst he is gaining a lot of Millis, Aura is just keeping him at bay. And this is great news for actually both FGR drivers in the
They're
same
on for a 1-2 potentially.
Yeah.
If Dino really does have to make another pit stop, which he absolutely needs to put on mediums at some point.
Yeah, I'd say that's in the rules. He's going to get slapped with a much larger penalty if he doesn't.
Yeah.
That's
a minute, I'm pretty sure it is in the rules if you don't use both compounds.
Oh, that's a bit tight.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a spin after making a... It looked like he grazed the wall.
He definitely grazed the wall. The issue was whether or not he was going to bounce off of it, because that wall sticks out ever so slightly. And then GT physics obviously is just a random lottery of whether or not you're going to bounce off of it in the right direction or bounce off of it and die. So it's a game he doesn't want to be playing too often, that's for certain. You don't want to be playing, you don't want to be flirting with the walls. That's just not the best way of winning.
Zico flirting with the penalty lines there. I think he was a couple of millimeters away from getting himself a half second, which would have lost him the position to Iggy.
Yeah, he's doing it well enough to hold 6th. Obviously a penalty would drop him quite significantly behind. Iggy has got all the way back up to him, but this is going to be...
Here we go. I think this is his chance.
Might be right. Lap 37 of 48. Zico and Iggy, these two are both position. They haven't got any pit stops left in this race. I'm very intrigued to see whether or not Iggy's going to try this. Here's Zico all the way to the inside, not allowing the Eevee move. So if he's going to have to do it, he's going to have to do it the long way. Zico with the late break. And on the inside for the Apex as well. And that is how you defend, everybody.
That was great defending. Yeah, absolutely fantastic there.
That is picture perfect defending. That is, quite frankly, defending 101.
Absolutely. Javi has got past Harlock. There's some.
With Luki there as well.
Luki's caught up now as well, yeah. So, crucially for Javi, he's up and away. He's going to start gapping Harlock on his mediums now. And Lugi is going to try and follow him through. Towards the front, it is definitely still a two-horse race. The gap is 1.1 seconds. Dino will be starting to get a little bit of benefit on the slip. I think that his opportunity will come on the next lap. His front right is almost at 50% worn though, so we'll be starting to feel the effects of that and need to make some minor adjustments to how he's approaching some of these corners to avoid sliding out.
Yeah, and the issue the bigger interesting point to this, because quite frankly, unless something happens, Dora isn't going to struggle here. But his gap to Millis is now nearing 11 seconds.
Oh, big mistake there for Dino.
I'm about to say, it won't be 11 seconds now. Oh, that's crucial. A huge error.
Yeah, he's lost about a second, but he's going to lose a little bit more there because he was struggling out of that corner as well.
He's sliding everywhere. You can tell. Look in the deep again. Ooh, he's flirting with the wall every single time he tries to go around that corner.
Completely
and now
on
it's
edge.
To 10 seconds.
His tyres are cooked. They shouldn't be, but they might be overheating right now. That would explain the sliding.
Yeah, he'd lost a second Aura this lap. He'd lost a second of Millis this lap, and that might be the crucial point in terms of Dino is trying to get himself at least second, try and break enough of a gap. The issue he's got now is trying to break enough of a gap after a slide like that with dead tyres.
Yeah.
Not a task I'd like to take on right now, to be honest.
Breathing space for Aura. He can just pretty much try and stay composed until Dino decides to make his final stop. I'm not sure when it'll be. Iggy, meanwhile, struggling to get within the half a second that he needs to be out of some of these corners to actually make a move on Zico. Dino has the same amount of fuel left as Aura, so he won't need to refuel when he comes in. So I think BX might be right if he actually has to make his pit stop. If someone who's watching wants to go back and see what tyres Dino started on, just to be sure it wasn't the mediums, but I'm almost certain it has to be the softs because he stayed
Luki
at the front.
And Iggy were the only two on the tyres at the start of the race, I'm pretty sure. And Ahmed, I assume, if he pitted
Ahmed as well, yeah, there was definitely three.
So those would be the three. The front four, which did include Dino, all started on the medium. Well, front four outside of Lugi, obviously, all started on the soft tyres. So there is no way that Dino has anything other than a medium tyres left to go on to in this race. Which again, he won't have to fuel, sure, but having to put on a new set of tyres and going through the pit lane is going to cost him probably the upside of 15 seconds anyway. So good luck catching the likes of Miller. So we're about to find out now.
Dino in the pit now, so he's going to do 8 laps on mediums potentially. I guess because he knows his tyres are overheating, he's going to come in now and bite the bullet. It's going to be where is he going to come out? That's the.
Is he going to be out ahead of the ERA boys?
Mike up into P3 now. Milius up into P2. Evo looks like he's going to be in 4th. And then there's a huge gap. It looks like it might be close between Dino and Evo. Evo gets the position. Evo's on the mediums as well, so he is going to the end, as is Mike. So Dino has the pace over these two, at least on the soft tyres, for sure. So he's got some overtaking to do now. He's still within reach of the P2.
I don't know about that. That's the tyre wear difference is not that extreme on these medium tyres with 8 to go. He should get Evo. That's a certain. I think that the issue, he might not even get to Mike.
He can't afford for 2 ERA and 2 FGR drivers to finish ahead of all of the Falcon drivers here if they want to be in contention this season.
It's a blunder of a strategy, I think we call this. Dino very clearly had the pace all day. Maybe
yeah, if
not
he'd have just gone on the mediums to the end,
but...
he'd have been a comfortable P2. He was never getting caught by Milius. I don't know why they decided to put on another set of softs. I guess he's not confident in his tyre wear, because obviously he was starting to struggle a little bit there by the looks of it, but he's still setting some good times.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just
Here we go.
They've seen the free stop, they've tried it. I just don't understand the concept in where it would have worked. It hasn't worked for Ahmed. It hasn't worked for Dino here. Backfired horribly.
Halix in the pits now as well, so he's going to be dropping
I was
back.
about to say, the third Arlab Falcon driver is the one that just entered the pits.
Yeah.
So it's a team strategy, and I think that team strategy has been a massive mistake.
I agree. Definitely one of the strategies of all time.
This up there with Sick Boy in Nation's Cup in Daytona. There might be, you know.
Yeah, sorry, Falcon are chucking away so many points here. 2 Project Platypus drivers are going to be finishing ahead of 2 of theirs. Yeah, so they're going to be losing ground on that front. They're fortunate that Arix are also having their own issues. I mean, Javi up in P9, Lugi is in 10th, Harlock 11th, Kep 12th. Ahmed out in 13th, Tim Gren 14th, and Harlix, after he's made his pit stop, is in last position. Absolute disaster there for Falcon.
It's an unmitigated disaster today. It just is. They should have... There is no way that these two... They surely have to be in a party with Ahmed, first off. And second off, they could have seen what Ahmed is doing, right? Or had someone in their ears seeing what Ahmed is doing and had to audible out of it. Because there is no way this would have worked. I don't really see the scenario
Ahmed's strategy made way more sense, because if you're pitting on the first lap, everyone else could potentially lose loads of time battling each other. But I don't really think that happened much. There was a lot of battling, but I don't think there was a lot of time lost.
I was about to say, the issue is the bigger time loss came in the middle of the pack.
Oh, Iggy nearly saves it.
Yeah, the time loss in terms of battling came in the middle of the pack, where Aura and Dino in particular at the start, and Millis were using each other for slipstream.
Yeah.
And then they got away, they broke the gap, and if they could break the gap early, that strategy that like Ahmed did, the 3-stop, becomes pointless.
Yeah,
utterly pointless.
Just a little comment on Javi's strategy. His really came apart because he lost positions to Zico and to Matty. Oh dear, something's happened.
Go forward, Evo and Dino.
Must have happened before this, because he's probably going to go on pause and now be sarcastic in the chat. Yeah, he is. Okay.
Yeah, he is.
So maybe an incident worth looking at in the stewards room again, potentially getting reported between Evo and Dino. We'll have to wait and see though, because we don't have a clue what's going on. He's got a run on Evo again. It's not going to be made easy. Evo potentially sacrificing himself a little bit for his teammate as well to make sure. Oh,
this is a long way out.
That's not right.
What are you doing? That's what goes round comes around at that point.
I thought we were having another Sonic moment there, but he was actually trying to make the corner, and he did, and there wasn't contact, so
he got away.
We can carry on. Bloody hell!
He got away with that because that looked like he was coming from downtown for a long way. Yeah. It looked like he was trying to do his best impression of Steph Curry from the logo. What the hell was that?
Nice. So let's move on from potential drama and talk a little bit about FGR. Currently in a 1-2, this is going to be the second team in 2 races who could potentially be finishing with a 1-2. They finished 3-4 in rounds 1 and 2, and ERA finished about to finish 3-4 tonight. As long as Evo can keep Dino behind him, maybe there's something to be said in the stewards. Mike, I think, has the potential to be reported as well. So yeah, don't take the race results as seen, because there might be some more shuffling just like we had last week.
Yeah, that is true. And as I said earlier, you were trying to point out they might have been in range of Miller's. He absolutely wasn't. The Titans don't go off that quickly, especially on the mediums, and
he could
to get Evo.
If he'd have sliced his way through the field and not failed at the first hurdle.
Oh, he's round! He's round! Oh, and that could not have gone worse, and here comes, I think that's Zico. And Iggy as well, and he's not ghosted!
He wasn't ghosted!
He's not ghosted!
Zico gets away with it. Iggy's got some damage. Zico's got some damage. Dino is in the mud.
Oh, he's lost it on the track!
He's lost it on the exit. I accidentally just left the thing. He's got damage all over. He's lost position to Matty. Great news for Project Platypus, extra points. Great news for Aero, extra points as well. Absolute disaster for Falcon. They got stuck behind a driver and got caught in his dirty air. Span the car. The guy who was should have had a P2 is down in 8th right now.
Oh, when you know how I said it was an unmitigated disaster earlier.
Yeah, Slim.
No, this is an unmitigated disaster.
Yeah, Slim. The standings are in the standings channel for post stewards. You gained, I think, 2 positions out of the stewards results. So
wow.
Dino has regained his vehicle condition. It's all looking good now, but he's on the mediums behind Matty, who's on the softs. He's actually nearly lost it again there. I think he's probably seen red, and he's struggling to keep cool here. He's losing it on multiple corners, and there's no reason for it. He's probably pushing as if he's on softs, but he's on the mediums.
This time he's actually got a chance. I think the opposite. Also, Harlock's got a penalty there. Lugie's trying to go past
half
him.
Second.
To the inside, still defending from Lugie again, not making it easy. Everyone's trying to cut off that inside line.
Yeah, Keplero's not too far behind now as well, so he might be able to salvage a couple more points here.
I was about to say, yeah, Harlock's going to lose out to Lugie when it comes to the penalty.
Yeah, he's definitely going to. Let's not watch that anymore. I can't.
Oh!
What?
It looked like Lugie was having a bit of a slide there. You almost turned off at the worst time. He looks to be fine though as we continue through the front end. Dino should still get Matty, honestly. Matty's tires are going to start wearing off now.
Potentially, there's only 2 laps left though, and there's 1.8 seconds. If Matty makes no mistakes into any corners, he's got this P7 wrapped up. This is the battle that I'm interested in. Iggy's caught back up again.
The back of Zico, and then he gets another slide out of that hairpin, and that's what's getting him. That's what's undoing him on that position against Zico, because Zico's got a car that isn't really sliding on the exit of that hairpin. Iggy's is, and it's causing him all sorts of issues, getting him a worse exit, and then obviously he can't use the 4 GT speed down towards turn 1 here most of the time.
He's going for it.
Might be a bit to tighten now.
Oh, he backs out. Zico's got deep.
He spooked him. Spooked Zico.
If he committed, he'd have had that position, because Zico actually didn't make the apex.
Yeah, you might be right. We won't be able to find out now, because Zico gets away with the mistake. And we're on lap 47 or 48 here, and I don't really see a lot of opportunity left for overtakes here. Going through the middle sector, this is where the 4 GT will be significantly worse than that Supra.
Yeah. But he's kept within 4 tenths. If he can get a better exit here from Zico. Oh,
nope. No, he did not. No,
it was quite equal, because they both kind of messed up the exit there.
Yeah, but the issue for Iggy is he's the chasing car. He can't afford to make that slide, because he needs the run. And he isn't
needs
going
the
to get it
hairpin of his life here.
Gonna come down. It looks like he might. He's definitely not sliding this time, and that looked good. And Zico might be under fire now. Going down the hill, heading towards the final lap of the race now. They're on 47, they're about to head on to 48. Iggy got a lot of a run now. He's not even bothering to try and take this on the inside. He's going to go to the outside. Iggy and Zico still side by side down towards turn 1. And Zico again defending it from the 4 GT exceptionally well.
Iggy completely unable to do the switchback as well there. Zico positioned his car absolutely perfectly. at the most crucial time for the second time that we've seen him do that as well. So he's defended like an absolute lion where he's needed to, and he's going to get P5 for Project Platypus as a result.
We might be about to go to the front. I was about to say that Aura's already at the final hairpin. He is cruising to the end, 15 seconds clear of his own teammate, and we might be having a reverse of Daytona, because finally, on I believe what, the 8th or 9th attempt here for Aura, he will be an AOR race winner. He's coming to the line, and provided a miracle doesn't happen, he wins in Deep Forest for FGR.
Through comes Milius for a brilliant P2. This is going to be his best ever result to accompany his P3 from last week. So a hugely strong start for these two. Miles ahead of everyone else. It looks like Mike's going to finish P3 for ERA. Evo is going to finish in 4th position as well. Now look at this.
Here comes
Battle for
Zico and Iggy
P5.
again. Zico and Iggy again to the line. It's a drag race this time. Who's going to get there? It's the Polish driver, Zico, holding on for dear life.
Oh, Matty's lost it at the end as well.
Yeah. Harlock also held on against Lugi.
He did. Lugi struggling
Also,
against Kep at the end.
Oh, just about hold on against Kep.
And then Battle for P14 even was .051 in it. So every single person, apart from Aura pretty much, and FGR really battling nose to tail right at the end of the race there. So let's have a look at these results. Huge day for FGR. Good day for ERA.
Yeah.
Good day for Project Platypus compared to last week. And I would say a terrible day for Falcon.
Yeah, well,
and
Falcon are the big
and for
losers
Spider.
here. I think Falcon are the bigger losers here because they had so much potential in what they could have done in this race, especially with Dino, and it was all thrown away by a strategy call that was unnecessary, entirely unnecessary. It's going to be one that they might look back on at the end of the season if they miss out by a small amount of points in any of the positions. They could have had a better chance, but at the end of the day, we have a reverse order of what we had from Daytona.
Yeah.
So it was a ERA 1-2 last week, and then an FGR 3-4. It's now an FGR 1-2 with an ERA 3-4.
Yeah, so I'll have to go away and do the standings. It looks like Fluffy Butt is about to win Lobby B, by the way, which is huge for Apex.
That's nice. That's
Skyline
nice
P2 for Project Platypus, and Spider looks like they're going to round out the podium with their new driver, Ramster.
How did Rupee do?
Rupee is currently in 4th place. They've got 2 laps to go. So pop over there and watch the last couple of laps to see how Lobby B finishes. And yeah, keep an eye out for the standings. Where are we next week?
No, Topless a couple of weeks' time. I'll just go and have a quick check if my phone actually allows me to go and have a look.
We are at Autopolis, yeah. So I'm expecting the revenge of Javi. Keep your eyes peeled for that one.
Autopolis and Lago next 2 weeks. So we're very much in Lambo and Ferrari territory for the first couple of weeks in March. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, tomorrow we got more Monday action with Vexed for Tier 1. We're going to be at Tokyo, so it's going to be an exciting one. Probably going to be lots of cars in the wall. So join us then tomorrow, and then apart from that, join us next week. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
In a bit.